that we are recording this event for future use. We will certainly put the program together and distribute it accordingly, but do want to make sure I mentioned that this evening, and we'll do so a number of times. But welcome to our Prospective Family Forum, December 9th, 2020. It's crazy to think that we are already in December. You know, in just a short few weeks, we'll be venturing into 2021. So very grateful and blessed that all of you are here this evening with us, all of our families that are joining us, our prospective families, welcome. To all of my wonderful and talented Concordia Prep staff, administrators that are here, thank you all for taking time out of your night to be here with us this evening and to share the good word of Concordia Prep with all of our families. I am delighted to share more with you. And with that said, I have some wonderful and amazing, talented department chairs, administrators, and teachers here this evening that'll really be the telltellers of what we are about at Concordia Prep. So before I get our program started, I would like to share a short video with everyone, and then I will ask Pastor Kauser following the video to open us up in prayer. So with that said, enjoy.
Welcome to Concordia Prep.
We are thrilled you are interested in learning more about what it is like to be a saint.
Concordia Prep is a special community.
This is the place to explore your passions, hopes, dreams, and goals.
We have the tools to help you forge your own path. We have a dedicated group of teachers, administrators, coaches, and staff who will share their talents and love of learning with you each and every day.
We will support you as you discover new interests, talents, and strengths.
You will be a member of this small, diverse community where everyone knows you.
Concordia Prep will give you the opportunities to explore new things,
to ignite your interest in something new that you have never tried before.
drama,
Art,
Music,
Robotics,
physics,
athletics,
student government.
explore your faith. We are here to meet you where you are and help you dive into new experiences.
we will prepare you for your future.
We expect you to leave Concordia Prep prepared to make a difference in the lives of others.
This is your time.
Realize your potential.
Visit us.
We can't wait to show you around.
It's a great day to be a saint!
I think for all of us watching that work at Concordia, it just kind of brings a smile to our faces because it's been a very different season, obviously. And we just love these students. My name is Peter Kauser. I'm the pastor, campus pastor at Concordia. And literally, I got here last January, about 7 weeks before everything started shutting down, and moved here with my family. Moved here with my oldest son at the time so that he could play some baseball for Concordia. And then my other boys and my wife joined me in May. And so they've only been here during the midst of the pandemic. And I share that because I'm kind of journeying just like a lot of you that are here checking out Concordia tonight. I'm brand new. And let me tell you, from just behind the scenes, what I see in terms of the staff here, the love and care that they have for my kids and for the students here at Concordia is unbelievable. The way that they have adapted in this season, and the multiple hats many of these people wear, and you'll hear tonight as these different department chairs talk and share. They're not just teaching classes, they're coaching kids, they're working above and beyond with musicals and choirs and all kinds of things in sports. And so I'm really blessed. I'm a product of Christian education, went to Lutheran schools all the way through high school. I'm really excited. We felt God led us here to be a part of this ministry, and it is that. In addition to being a school, it is a place for people to sort through their faith journeys. My wife is teaching there at the school. We are so excited to be here, and I'm thankful that you guys took the time in a very busy month, even with the pandemic. I know December is kind of a crazy time for everybody, but particularly this year. And so let me just invite us to pray as we head into this evening together. And I'm just going to share some words of a familiar Christmas song leading into this prayer. O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary soul rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. God, as we gather here tonight, we are thankful that there is a thrill of hope in the air and that we as weary souls can rejoice, because in this season of Advent leading to Christmas, we know what this season is really about. It's about your Son coming to earth and changing the trajectory of our eternity. And Lord, it's a privilege to walk with students all over the map in terms of spiritual backgrounds, to just walk with people and talk about the love of Jesus. And in the midst of this pandemic, to bring living hope and to bring perspective to our days. Lord, I thank you for the staff, the administration, all of these faculty. I thank you for these families that are leaning in tonight to hear more. And Lord, by your Spirit, just stir. Lord, my kids, I'm so locked in on wanting them to grow, not only academically, but in life. And I'm thankful for what I've already seen in the short time I've been here at Concordia Prep, to be a part of this Saints family and to see them engaging even virtually and in hybrid mode and all of these things we've been in during this pandemic. Lord, we thank you for the many ways you've blessed Concordia in order to be a blessing to our students and to these families. Guide us now this night. May everything we say and do give you honor and glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Kauser. Wonderful. Again, everyone, my name is Stephen Berger. I'm the Director of Admissions at Concordia Prep School. And as I said before, I feel blessed and grateful for this opportunity tonight. Although we can't invite you into our doors and welcome you into our media center and feed you delicious cookies and snacks and share the great word of what we're about at Concordia Prep. I feel confident in our program this evening to hopefully shed a little bit more perspective on who we are, what we're about, specifically in the academic ranks, diving into our fine arts program, our campus ministry, and our faith component, as well as rounding out through our athletics and extracurriculars. So I'm really excited to have the staff here this evening. They are the game changers as it relates to our school. So I'd like to first put a face to the name for everyone. We do have over 40 staff members at Concordia Prep. Over 80% are holding advanced degrees. And our faculty, as you will get to hear and will get to know, are very interactive through their classes and through activities. Many play dual roles, not only teaching, we're coaching, involved in our fine arts, club leaders, and really just want to lend a hand in any type of activity or event that we have on campus. Small classes, group projects, and that individual attention is our hopes to give your students the academic goals and nurture their personal growth. So I'm blessed to work with Miss Stefanelli. Miss Stefanelli, just quickly say hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Stefanelli. I'm the Assistant Admissions Director and I run our front office. And I just wanted to remind everyone that if at any point you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help you and guide you through this process. We can be reached via phone or email. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stefanelli. Up next are two of our main administrators at the school, our upper school principal, Ms. Sarah Walensky.
Hey everybody, it's good to see you guys. Like Mr. Berger said, wish we were in person, not just for the cookies, but to get to know you guys a little bit better. And as Ms. Stefanelli said, if you guys ever have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Our emails are just our first name and last name at concordiaprepschool.org, which you can find on the school's website.
Excellent. Mr. Miller, middle school principal, dean of students.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm excited to get to know you guys a little bit tonight, but further to get to know you hopefully next fall. Thanks for coming.
Science Department Chair, Ms. Catherine Kane.
Good evening. I am Ms. Kane, the head of the Science Department. Like you, I am also a parent, so I'm in this with you, and hopefully I can share all of the details of what we're doing as scientists here at CPS.
Thank you, Ms. Kane. Ms. Amy White, or the Math Department.
Hello, I'm Mrs. White, and I'm really excited to see all of the bright new families here tonight.
Thank you, Ms. White. Ms. Joy Johnson, our Fine Arts Chair, as well as our English teacher.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm excited to talk to you later tonight in the presentation.
Miss Anna Heckel from our English Department.
Hello, hello, good evening. It's nice to see all the new faces, and I look forward to hopefully getting to know you in the fall. I will be introducing the English department to you tonight later on.
And Miss Heckel is also a alumni of Concordia Prep, which was formerly BLS, right? So has a lot of connections there within the school. Miss Audrey Mell of our Theology Department Chair.
Hi, I'll be talking about the religion courses that kids take at Concordia Prep, and I also coach girls volleyball.
Thank you, Miss Mel. And then finally, Miss Liz Longenecker from our Jaguar program, our Jaguar director.
Hello, everyone, and hopefully future saints. Happy to see all these new faces tonight, and I will talk about our student services program and the Jaguar program.
Thank you, Miss Liz. And last but not least, Miss Newman, Director of
Hello,
Athletics.
everyone. Pleasure to be here this evening. I'm very excited to meet all these future saints out there, and happy to talk about anything and everything Saints athletics with you.
Thank you, Miss Newman. And last but not least, our fearless leader, Mr. Brent Johnson, headmaster, and would like to pass the mic and allow Mr. Johnson to introduce himself further, as well as share some opening remarks. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Berger. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your busy schedules this evening. This is a crazy time of year. We are excited to have you for the next few moments as we brag a little bit about the awesome stuff going on at Concordia Preparatory School. I'm going to be honest, I am upset that we're not at Concordia Preparatory School for a variety of reasons, and cookies are up there for me. So Mr. Berger and his staff does do a great job of having some delicious snacks for these events, and I'm looking forward to COVID being over so that we can get back to our normalcy there and to meet all you guys as well. But we'll hopefully have that opportunity later this spring and going into the orientation time next summer and late summer, early fall. As we do that. It is a great time to be a Saint. We are so blessed at Concordia Preparatory School right now. We have an outstanding faculty and staff. We've seen tremendous growth, both in numbers and in programs. Our academic program has really grown over the last 5 years. We've tripled the number of AP courses we've offered. We've expanded our dual credit offerings. Our faculty and staff has continued to grow as well. Our athletic and activities programs have grown recently. We just found out yesterday, I'm sure Ms. Newman will want to brag about this, our boys soccer team was accepted into the A conference. It's the first time we've had an A conference team in quite a while, so we're excited for our Saints soccer program and just excited as we work really using whatever angle we can to get to know your kids, to build a rapport with them, to help them to feel connected at Concordia Preparatory School, and ultimately to partner with you guys as parents to make them the best versions of themselves as we move forward. So I'll be brief because I think I'll get an opportunity to talk to you again here a little bit later as we answer some questions, but I'm just grateful for your time during this hectic season, and I'm excited to tell you more about the awesome things that our faculty, staff, and students are doing at Concordia Prep School right now. So thank you, Mr. Berger.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And just as a quick note, before we get our program fully underway, I do want to mention you are able to submit questions via our chat. So I've opened that up. You can submit those directly to me as the host. And throughout the program, we will make sure we look through those and answer those accordingly. I'm hopeful that most of your questions will be answered throughout the course of the program. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we get things underway. The biggest thing that we have done here tonight is, as I said before, is provide you guys a good inside look at each of our respective departments. And so I'm going to give the floor to each of our teacher representatives or department chairs and have them shine a little bit deeper of paint a little bit more of a picture for you and get a little bit more in depth of what their departments specifically do, classes they offer, and also just a little bit in-depth look at how that can help transition them, whether it's in middle school or in the high school ranks. And first off the bat, I want to make sure our middle school families have a quick glimpse of what the overall academic overview as a middle schooler looks like. Our students are placed in appropriate age level for math and language, and that's based on a placement test, previous coursework, and teacher recommendations. As you can see from the grid, we do offer a number of enrichment courses that really allows the students to kind of express themselves in different ways, expose those God-given talents, or maybe be vulnerable and try something new. So our religion, English, social studies, science, and physical education courses are all grade level. And then the enrichments, you know, the kids tend to have a little bit more opportunity to kind of have a selection as it relates to those. So if there are any more specific questions, I know that each department will shine a little light on their respective area. But we do have Mr. Miller here as our middle school principal and others, various members, if there are specifics related to the middle school curriculum. First, from our teachers representatives is Ms. Kane, representing our science department. Ms. Kane?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. As I said, not only am I a teacher, I am a parent of a middle schooler. However, I do teach high school. I run our science department, and this is my second year here at CPS, and I really feel like I've found a new home here. I've spent my entire teaching career in one school where the environmental science magnet program was placed in Baltimore County schools. I spent all of my teaching career in that building and then came to CPS last year, and it was such a welcoming change. It is an amazing environment. As head of the science department, I've been working with our teachers to align our curriculum, of course, to the next generation science standards, which the state of Maryland adopted back in 2013, and Baltimore County has been implementing over the last few years as well. Our middle school is set up to matriculate perfectly into our 9th grade year. So we start off with the lower level standards in life and earth space science in 6th grade. We move our students into matter and its interactions, chemistry and physics, engineering for an elective in our 7th grade year. That helps to boost our math scores, not just in Maryland, but across the country. 7th grade is the year where math tends to take that little dip. So we try to double down with our students, keep them on pace. And then in 8th grade, they pick up with the higher level standards in life and earth space science, so that as 9th graders, they are ready to either take earth space science or biology. Now, 9th grade science is entirely based on their math. We want to make sure that students who start in biology have the appropriate math to matriculate into chemistry, so that they're ready for everyone's favorite stoichiometry. We want to make sure that those students are going to be successful. Now, in our 11th grade year, students are able to move into physics, environmental science. They have forensics and anatomy and physiology as electives. And then, of course, our seniors will also have opportunities to take AP courses in biology, chemistry, and next year, physics as well.
Thank you, Ms. Kane. Moving into our math department with Ms. White.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Mrs. White. I didn't tell you a lot about me earlier. I also coach cross country and track. So if I'm not in the classroom, I am usually running somewhere on campus. For our math department, the math courses are based on a placement test, previous coursework, and they receive credit for, and some of that teacher recommendation. For the most part, the freshman students tend to go into Algebra 1, then they would take geometry after that their sophomore year, then junior year they take Algebra 2. After Algebra 2, they have options of taking statistics or advanced algebra or pre-calc, depending. For some of our more advanced math students that already come in with Algebra 1 credit and are able to start their freshman year in geometry or even Algebra 2, they have the ability after Algebra 2 to go into statistics or pre-calc. From pre-calc, they can go into calculus, and then we also have some AP, 2 levels of AP calculus as well that some of the students are able to do. For those students who are not quite ready for Algebra 1 their freshman year, we do offer a Foundations of Algebra course that they might place into that will give them the skills they need to be successful in math. And then the big thing that a lot of the math teachers in our department do is we really focus on the critical thinking and problem solving skills. So it's not just the rote memorization, but it's the projects and the application and how am I really going to use this outside of the math classroom.
Thank you, Ms. White. Next up, our English department with Ms. Heckle.
All right. Also, I realized I did not give a little bit of information about me. I am not a coach in any way, shape, or form. Instead, I fill my afternoons when I'm not lesson planning or grading papers, trying to figure out where I can be helpful. So I've been able to help out with the diversity programs on campus. I've been able to do a little bit of tutoring for kids who need it, helping out with the G-Gear program or helping out with the fine arts. So I've been able to do a little bit of everything. I am also an alum of the school. I had Mrs. Johnson as my own teacher. It's kind of weird to be now her coworker, but that puts me in a unique position because I know exactly the requirements and the expectations the students have on themselves. So for middle school, we focus on really making sure they have those critical thinkings in regards to reading skills, making sure they can decode vocabulary in context, but then we also try to introduce them to as much literature as possible, both fiction and nonfiction, so that by the time they do reach high school, they are ready for some more of those more advanced classes. 9th grade, they should already be able to write at the paragraph level because they start actually doing some research papers that year because we encourage cross-curricular thinking. So we pair actually with the history department as well for that. Our school does offer honors classes for 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 12th. 9th and 10th are survey courses, so they are exposed to literature from different time periods and different cultures. Once they hit 11th and 12th, they can have more electives, world literature, AP English literature, creative writing, or SAT prep. And that's pretty much all I have for the English department.
Thank you, Ms. Heckle.
You're welcome.
Ms. Newman did want to mention that you are also representing a STEP team.
Yes.
So to not forget that. And also on another elective front, public speaking is also something that we've kind of invested in as a subject that students can invest themselves in. As we all know, the importance of public speaking and how that can play out down the road in their college and young professional careers. So thank you, Ms. Heckle. Wonderful job. Up next, representing our history department tonight, Mr. Miller.
Hello, everybody, once again. I am Mr. Miller. I've been at the school now. This is my 10th year. I can't believe that is a reality. I am lucky enough to be one of the middle school boys basketball coaches also during the winter time. Please pray that COVID goes away so that I can have a basketball season this year. I'm here to talk a little bit about our history departments. Starting with middle school, our 6th and 7th grade students will be involved in geography classes. Our 6th grade students doing Eastern Hemisphere geography, our 7th grade students doing Western Hemisphere geography, and then our 8th grade students will do early American history from colonial all the way up through the Civil War and Reconstruction. As you can see on the screen here, in 9th grade, we go into World History 1, which is basically from prehistory to the Renaissance and Reformation. World History 2 for 10th graders, which is Renaissance and Reformation up to as far as we possibly can to current time. And then the junior year actually picks up where the 8th grade leaves off at the Civil War Reconstruction era. And they try to also get as far as they can into current times. Our seniors do take a semester of government class. The 9th, 10th, and 11th grade classes are all year-long classes. Once you get into your sophomore year, you do have the opportunity to take an AP World History course. And then into junior and senior year, you'll have the opportunity to take a wide range of electives from econ to psych to soc, to world economics, to AP European history, AP US history, and AP microeconomics. And as Ms. Heckel said, we also work through the first 3 years of the history department with the English department to develop research skills as well as writing of a research paper. Thank you, Mr. Berger.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Awesome. Moving into our theology department with Miss Mel.
Yeah, so I think the emphasis for us for CPS is that for most religious families, religion is more of a habit instead of like a moral or intellectual conviction. So at CPS, we really try to make a case for religion, why it's important. So it's really not just a habit here. There's wisdom to be learned from the Bible, even if a kid comes to school and is not religious. So it's important for anyone. So in 6th grade, we really try to set a groundwork for what kids know about Jesus or about God, what is the Bible, how to use it. And then 7th grade is really centered on Jesus. Who is Jesus? What has he done for us? 8th grade, we're really trying to develop our faith. We get kind of into what it means to be a Christian. We do projects that include faith statements and portfolios. 9th and 10th grade are grouped together, so there's a 2-year cycle for 9th and 10th grade. It's the same for 11th and 12th grade. For each year, we do a book of the Bible. So it would be Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. Then we do a Bible that really looks at the interpretation of the Bible from a different perspective. So they're not just listening to their teacher's perspective the whole time. We really emphasize the fruits of the Spirit and leadership in 9th and 10th grade. And then 11th and 12th, we get into more apologetics, other denominations of Christianity, other religions in the world. And then we do another type of portfolio in their last year at CPS. Oh, I also should mention we do have a chapel leaders class. So those students who are interested in how chapel is run, we do have chapel once a week in a normal year on Wednesdays. They are involved with setting up chapel and organizing chapel as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Mel. Miss Mel did mention she is one of the volleyball coaches at Concordia Prep. And I hear there's some spring coaches potentially looking to recruit her on that side of things. So. Moving into our languages department, and that would be with Miss Walensky.
All right, so I not only am the upper school principal, I also am the world languages department chair, and I am teaching Spanish this year to some upper level students. A little more background on me. This is my 7th year, I think, at CPS. My 3rd year as an administrator. Before that, I only taught Spanish, and then I was in some public schools in North Carolina before that and taught in Spain for a little while as well. So kind of coming from some different backgrounds. So some requirements, and then I will also chat a little bit about opportunities for middle school students and upper school students. In the graduation requirement realm, for our school, you have to have 2 years of the same language in order to graduate. So, and that has to be in the high school level. So you would need to take Spanish 2 and 3 in high school to graduate if that was what level you were starting at. If you're starting at Spanish 1 or German 1 or Latin 1, then you would just need that level 1 and level 2. We do have some students that start taking Spanish in the middle school, and you can also take Latin or German in the middle school. In the 7th grade, you can start taking Spanish, and then in the 8th grade, you can start taking Latin and German as well as Spanish if you are continuing on with that. So we do have students, if they're with us in the middle school, that move into high school that are starting at a level 2 in their 9th grade year for Spanish, Latin, or German, which is why we say that it has to be the 2 years in high school of the same language. Trying to think there's anything else. I know this is not necessarily 100% related to the World Languages Department, but we also try to do some trips and travel. I have personally led a couple different trips with CPS in some of my former schools. I've done a trip to Spain and Costa Rica and Belize. I've also done an Italy trip, a Hungary, Czech Republic, Germany trip as well. And I know Mr. Johnson and Mrs. Johnson are also leading some trips. So if any of your students are interested in that, we definitely have some opportunities there. I will say one more thing, not world languages related. I work with Ms. Girl, who's our academic dean, a lot with just academics and courses that we offer. A lot of people are not tooting their own horn, that we, for the most part, in the core subjects have at least an honors or AP level of those courses. So if your students are interested in that, they would be able to take some courses that are at the higher level. Thanks, Mr. Berger.
Thank you, Ms. Walensky. Well done. And I think the other thing to mention, just in terms of the trips, they're not just for students, they are for families. And so that's something that we see a lot of families getting involved in, and certainly a fun experience and fun time. So
I would say maybe the students are not as happy or pumped that their parents are going on a trip with them, but I thoroughly enjoy having some of those parents come along. It's nice to have some adults to just have conversations with while traveling. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Walensky. I do want to remind everybody that we are recording this session this evening. So for those that are on the program tonight, you are aware of that, and we'll certainly distribute it for future purposes. Moving into our JAGER program, love to have Miss Liz Longenecker join us.
Thanks, Mr. Berger. And again, welcome. This is my first year with a Concordia Prep. And like Pastor Kauser, yes, it's a very interesting time to start a new job when half the year you're not really working in your normal space. So there is no new normal yet. But that said, that leaves us an opportunity for a lot of learning together, and that we have done. I have come to this position after 7 years or so in working with a variety of different types of learners, whether they be dyslexic or struggling with their academic career from the lower, middle, or upper school, or even college level for various reasons. So if your child has an IEP or a 504 in the public schools, or a psych ed eval from more of the private school arena, and they have learning differences, we absolutely can support them within a certain variety at Concordia Prep. So about 10% of our students are in the JAGER program, and we have a very specific set of accommodations that we can support. And if anybody is interested in learning more about it, I'm happy to set up a private Zoom meeting with you, review your child's background, your academic profile, and see if that is something that we can support successfully at Concordia. Being that this is my first year, I haven't really had an opportunity to do a whole lot of extracurricular activities yet, but I hope to explore working with the theater department and the fine arts. And as a foreign language buff, I hope to also participate as a chaperone in some foreign language trips as well. And so any questions, please email me. I'm happy to talk to anybody at any time and do it all the time. Mr. Berger and I work really closely together in the admissions process for some of our JGAIR candidates.
Thank you, Miss Liz. Yeah, so Miss Liz is a wonderful connection. If you reach out to her, of course, we do stay in very close contact as we review and discuss each JGAIR candidate. So it is certainly important that we do have the appropriate documentation if your child does have an IEP 504 psych eval. And I do want to make mention that you do not have to have those documentations in order to be in the JGAIR program. And so it is certainly something as it relates to the learning plan developed, but it is not a requirement. So I do want to make mention of that. So I'm happy to discuss further, and if there are questions specifically, we can address those accordingly. Thank you, Ms. Liz. So jumping now into our extracurriculars and our fine arts / athletics. Extracurriculars do incorporate retreats, do incorporate clubs, do incorporate activities outside of our classroom, which we tend to have a lot of fun with at Concordia Prep. And two main pillars of our extracurriculars do lie in our fine arts program and our athletics. So we have two of the best, without a doubt, in the state of Maryland, in Miss Johnson and Miss Newman. So I really am happy to have them share more with you about both of their programs. Miss Johnson?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Berger. Good evening again, everybody. I, like Mrs. Kane, am also a middle school parent. I have a 7th grade daughter this year, and so I am with you going through the middle school years. This is my 14th year here at Concordia Prep. I spent a couple years at another private high school here in Baltimore, and then a couple years at a college, Concordia University, Nebraska, where I taught in the English, Theater, Arts, and Communications program, and also coached the speech and debate team, which is why I get to do the fun of public speaking for the high school students here at Concordia Prep. You'll see me in the upper level literature courses as well as the theater classes, and then I direct the fall play and the spring musical, and that's what I'm also going to talk to you tonight about. So within our middle school, students have an opportunity to take 2 different art classes: beginner band for 6th graders, middle school band for 7th and 8th graders, and then choir is for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then there's a drama class that's open to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders as an elective. In the high school, regular choir, concert band, guitar classes, 6 different art classes, and 4 different levels of theater classes, ranging from just like theater history to acting to play production by their senior year. And so for our actors and students behind the scenes, our kids do it all. They run the lights, they run the sound. They do a fall show for the high school students. Our spring musical is open to 6th grade through 12th grade. And again, the students run everything. They're the tech students, they're the behind the scenes, they're the costuming, they help with the hair and the makeup. And we have 2 different concerts as far as a fall concert, a winter concert, and in the spring we do the concerts as well. So our art department is able to display their art and their designs, as well as the theater students get to perform during those events as well. So we're constantly trying to get our students out into the public. And there's a picture of us in the Black Box Theater. We dedicated that last year, the renovation of our Black Box space. So our smaller shows, our fall plays, are in the Black Box, and then we do our musicals out in the gym. Oh, and we also were able to do a show this fall, even amid COVID. We did an outside production. It was called The Delightful Quarantine, not about COVID. It was about an alien invasion, but we were able to socially distance and do a live streaming event for that. And we are still already making plans for our spring musical, which we can't announce yet, but if it has to be outside, we're doing it outside again, Mr. Berger.
I love it. And Ms. Johnson, will you shed a little light on the trips that you take usually annually to New York, to Broadway?
Yes. Now, unfortunately, Broadway's closed till June this year, which is a great upset to all of us. Our Lion King trip was canceled last year, but we offer a trip every year, open to the entire school. It's an opportunity to go see a show. It's a one-day trip up and back, and we do a workshop with a Broadway director. It could be on stage combat, choreography. It could be on presenting a song. It could be learning something to do with monologues. If you bring a prepared piece and get information from a casting director, we go to art museums, but it's a dedicated trip just to the arts. So it's not just a time to go shopping. We focus on the arts while we're up in New York and come back another day. We do local trips in our drama classes to see plays within the area at the Hippodrome or in DC. Again, in regular times, non-COVID times, it's just a great experience to get our students out there to see professional theater in the area.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. And when she says the kids do all of it, that is the truth. You know, the kids really take a good ownership in their roles, and it's really wonderful to see, especially when they're in the practice scene, because you kind of look out and you're wondering where the teachers are, and it's the kids really running the show. So it's a special thing. I will also add that we have a number of athletes that are also involved in our fall and spring plays, musical, drama department, you name it. And so we work hand in hand with our fine arts department and our athletic department to really forge that opportunity. You know, we don't want our kids to stretch themselves too thin, but we certainly want to provide them the space and place to share those God-given talents. And we work really well with one another to create a good balance for them. So it's always fun to see the, you know, football players or soccer players, you know, sprinting off the field after their handshakes to go get into the dress rehearsal, or vice versa, leaving dress rehearsal to make a game or practice. So it just shows a lot of investment and also team play that I think our school does a really good job with. So following up with, and finally, our last but not least presentation is from Miss Newman, representing our Saints Athletics.
Hi, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here this evening. I have my little one here, class of 2038. So she will be rocking the red then. So it is my first year here at Concordia Prep, and I can say without a doubt the word to use to describe is a family atmosphere. We have great staff members and teachers, and you've heard from all of them that pull that double duty and are able to coach our kids and really be involved in their lives, and I'm very proud to lead that. We are members of the MIAA and the IAAM conference. We field over 18 upper school teams, and I believe 15 middle school teams. So there's an opportunity for every single kid to get a chance to participate in athletics, which we think is very important. As Mr. Johnson stole my thunder a little bit, I was going to announce our great news of having our men's soccer team move up to the A conference, which we're very excited about that. So they'll be getting some great competition. And we have our teams actually that are filtered through almost every single conference. So any sport that you may be interested in trying, or a sport that you've been playing for a very long time, you can come out and participate here at Concordia Prep. The other thing that is great about our athletic program is our great facilities. I love this background that Mr. Berger has shown. Saints Field there, it's a beautiful turf field. It also has our turf baseball field. We're very blessed to also have an upper field where we're able to have some of our overflow games and practices, as well as some of our middle school sports. Another great segue that you had, Mr. Berger, was for our middle school athletic program, which is very unique. We are able to field teams every season for the boys and girls in our middle school. And it's just a great opportunity for them to get some physical activity and to get some camaraderie and all of the great things that you get out of athletics: teamwork, hard work, effort. The other thing that I'm very proud of is we are establishing a culture that really incorporates our 5 values here. We have some amazing student athletes, and they are some of the leaders in our school. And they are people that we are just really proud to, wow, did I really do that? That's amazing. We are really proud that we are able to use athletics as an extension of our school mission. and again, to help our students grow, not only physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. So I'm really happy. I know I have a lot of potential Saint athletes on this call tonight. So I'm really happy at any moment, if you guys have any questions about our programs, our facilities, our amazing coaching staff, and actually our just vision for our department, please feel free to shoot me an email at any time.
Awesome job, Ms. Newman. I won't be shocked to see her on a sideline this spring when the seasons do get kicked off with our class of 2038.
Yeah, man.
I love it. I'm ordering a Saints onesie for you now.
Yes.
So thank you, Ms. Newman. And yeah, she did a wonderful job there. And hopefully throughout this evening, as you heard many of our teachers mention, the overall emphasis of our core values of faith, integrity, service, leadership, and community. Those 5 being ingrained in our curriculum, through our devotions, through the communication that we do day in and day out with our wonderful children on campus. So you can see many of these in our students when they leave us. I had the privilege today to interview 2 graduates, recent graduates from Concordia Prep. And when I say this, I saw each of these values in these 2 young ladies, through their time at Concordia, but most importantly, in just short time that I had to speak with them today. And that's really what makes our jobs certainly special and sort of really important to why we do what we do. So, it's what they do certainly while they're at Concordia Prep, but when they leave us and they're outside of our community is really the difference maker and really shows off what we're about. So hopefully you've heard a good brunt of that this evening. And if you haven't, I thought I would just invite one of our parents who's involved in our PTL, as well as has 2 students at Concordia Prep, to just share a parent's perspective for all of our families here. So Dr. Fiorentina, or as I will get yelled at, Nancy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you see me?
We can.
I'm on my phone. Okay, good. Hi, everyone. So I remember what this process was like for me when I was looking into middle schools and high schools for my kids, and I know it's an overwhelming process. I've been so happy here at Concordia that I wanted to be able to give back and be a resource for you all, because I know there's lots of questions and it's a big decision. So as you go through this process, feel free to contact Mr. Berger if you have any questions. If we were meeting in person, like we do all other years when I'm there, we have side chats and I'm able to kind of give you my email and communicate with you differently. But feel free to talk to Mr. Berger. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I have a son that's in 8th grade that will be attending Concordia next year as a high schooler, and a daughter who's in 10th grade. And we started my son in 6th grade and my daughter in 8th grade. So we've been here a little bit. And I could tell you that the selling point for me at Concordia is because we're such a small school, the intimacy of the school and the sense of community is really most important, and where I really see my kids are able to grow because of that. So because of the class sizes, what I've seen as a parent is both of my kids can really develop relationships with their teachers. And now in the midst of a pandemic, more than ever, I think that's most important. So I really can see how they're able to grow and learn academically, athletically, spiritually, because of the small school size and because of that relationship that they're able to develop with the teachers. Even in COVID, I'm so impressed with the virtual learning piece that we're doing, that the teachers are still able to, I think, develop these relationships with the students, even though they're not in the classroom. So that for me is a huge selling point. I think I'm most surprised and impressed with the culture at the school in terms of like making sure our students are ready for college, and not just ready for college, but also ready spiritually to enter into this most crazy world right now. So I think having Pastor Kauser at school has been great for Concordia. I'm really thankful for that. And the academic rigor. So I think sometimes not everyone knows what we offer in terms of academics and the rigorous academic program that we have at Concordia. So, if you have a student who really wants to be challenged and can be challenged, we really do offer a lot of classes. And I could tell you, as having a 10th grader, she is challenged every day. She works very hard. She has excellent relationships with her teachers, but she's working hard. So if you're looking for an environment where there is the opportunity to be challenged and kind of go at the higher level learning, we are absolutely a school that can offer that to you. And finally, you know, both my kids are athletic or at the athletic program, and I see those core values there, and I feel Ms. Newman is just a blessing to our school. I feel very lucky that we have her and that my kids get to have relationships with her. So, you know, if your kid is a sport kid or drama or anything else, I think we have an opportunity to let your child shine here. So I'm very happy with our school. Again, be in touch with Mr. Berger if you have any questions. This is just a small version of how I'm feeling. Teachers will know that I'm just very, very grateful to be there. It's very hard for me to see them if we ever see them at school and not to hug everyone. That's gonna be my big challenge when we go back.
Well, Mr. Miller has pool noodles to make sure you stay 6 feet away. So
yeah, he knows I won't. Yeah, that won't work for me. But we'll figure it out.
But it is, I think in the moments of which we were hybrid, just having our students come to campus and being able to see all of our families was really, really special this past year. And I know for many of us, if not all, the fact that we haven't been able to go back yet since Thanksgiving is certainly hard, but our investment and our dedication has not slipped or fallen short. So thank you, Dr. Fiorentino, for being here. And thank you all to all of our teachers this evening for sharing all of your remarks. Really a wonderful job. And I hope many of our families learned a lot more tonight about us. So I have an opportunity now to open the floor with some questions and answer session. I have a few that have been pre-submitted, so I will queue those up accordingly. Of course, if you do have any questions, you can submit those via the chat. Let's see. First question on the docket. Do you have a before school or after school program? And how late can students stay on campus after school? Mr. Miller.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Berger. Before school, after school, our normal school day begins at 8 o'clock, ends at 3. Before school, your students can arrive anytime after 7:30. We know that sometimes that people need to be dropped off before then, but we can guarantee that they will be supervised by 7:30. After school, there are many extracurriculars that students can be involved in. But if your middle school student is not a part of the extracurriculars and it gets to 3:30, we do have what we call an EDP program, which means extended day program, which means that they'll have a staff member with them from 3:30 until 6 to give them a snack so they do not starve, give them a little time to work on their homework, but then also the opportunity to kind of socialize with our students who are in the EDP program so that you have no worries if you're not able to get them right away at 3. You will be able to pick them up anytime up till 6 o'clock. There's a fee that does apply with that. Otherwise, high school students, there is no set time they have to leave. A lot of our students are involved in extracurriculars, so they will be there until 4, 5, 6 o'clock, sometimes even later, depending on the extracurriculars.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Question 2, what is a dual credit course and can all students take those courses? Miss Walensky.
No, you're coming my way. All right, so on top of the honors and AP courses that we offer, we also have some dual credit courses, and a lot of times those pair with our AP courses that we're offering in the English and history area. Right now, we also have them occasionally in the foreign language realm, but right now it's history and English. And we pair up with Concordia University, Nebraska, and through that, students would be taking a class by one of our teachers at Concordia, but they would be doing college level work and they would be receiving college credit upon successful completion of that course. I will say that just looking and peeking into some of our English and history classes, there is quite a bit of work that is associated with that, but our teachers make it just, like a true experience for our students, so they really get that college-like experience. But so that would typically be in our junior senior year. I think there may be one 10th grade history class that does it, but most of them are in our 11th and 12th grade years. And there is an additional fee that comes along with that. Just like an AP test would require an extra fee, the dual credit course would also have a fee associated with that goes along with the university that we're associated with. But I will say, in comparison to a student taking a college course, the fee is not nearly as much as what they would pay if they were taking a college course at college. I hope that gets everything, Mr. Berger.
Yes, thank you. And if so, of course, any further questions, can certainly send me an email and we can queue those up. And they do depend on, semester or year, the offerings. So those would fluctuate, but certainly available. So thank you.
Yeah.
Question 3, and I'm going to throw this to Mr. Johnson and probably follow up with some remarks. But Mr. Johnson, what separates Concordia Prep School from other private schools in Maryland? And all of my other teachers and staff, if you do have some food for thought on this, feel free to chime in after. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Berger. Mr. Berger, did you know that Harvard has taken one of our dual credit classes, actually? We had a student that went to Harvard and took two dual credits, 6 credits with him. And you actually pay half of what one of the college credits at this place would cost you for the whole class. So you're getting a fantastic deal. I think the answer to this has come out already this evening. And I think you asked me for one thing. I'm going to use headmaster prerogative here and say 2 things that I think strike me in my 17 years here as about every position you can serve here as a parent, as a teacher, as an administrator, as a coach. Number 1, it's our faculty and staff. There are probably other schools in Maryland that are elite academically, maybe even more so than us, that maybe specialize in sports or drama more so than us, might have a prettier theater than we have. But the experience that kids are going to have with our faculty and staff, they're going to be connected. It's going to be impossible for them to slip through the cracks. It is going to be something where these kids are going to have someone that's looking out for them, someone that is connected to them, someone that knows when they're having a bad day, and a group of people that are committed to helping these kids become the best versions of themselves to make a difference in the lives of others. And that is probably the thing that I think sticks out most to me. But I think right there with that, and I think this is a result of that Concordia Prep School presents an amazing set of opportunities for kids who come to it. You don't get, if you play soccer, or if you're in the band, or if you're in drama, you don't necessarily get pigeonholed in that thing. You don't have to specialize in only that in your time here. You have the opportunity to really try a lot of different things. And every year at our beginning chapel, I challenge our kids to do that, to try something that they're not as comfortable with. If they're an athlete, to maybe push themselves in the fine arts, push everybody to be the best versions of themselves academically, to be a great investment of their parents' money. And the opportunities that our kids get in the classroom extracurricularly with activities and clubs, it's amazing. And kids who come to Concordia Prep who want to take full advantage of that are going to thrive.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I would also echo that we are a very diverse school as well. And I think that's something that's really important, not just, from the color of the skin or the faith background or the academic background that they have. I think one of the things we do very well at our school is accepting all of those and continuing to work with each of our students in their things they want to continue to grow in and things that they want to continue to challenge themselves with. And so, we seek for those types of students, and we certainly thrive, as Mr. Johnson said, when we have those middle school or high school students really looking to push themselves and express those God-given talents. So I wanted to make sure I gave the floor to any other faculty and staff members that would want to chime in on that statement.
I can give it one word, Mr. Berger. it's the heart of this school, which is really what Mr. Johnson was saying. I, as a private tutor, I have worked at private schools all over Baltimore, not all over Maryland, but from Gilman to McDonough to Immaculate Heart of Mary. And I can in no uncertain terms say from the inside out, and from that perspective of working with faculty at all these very wonderful schools with wonderful faculty and amazing dedicated students and faculty, that this school has the biggest heart and really cares. And the intimacy of the size allows us to develop those really strong relationships with our students. And we come together as a team of faculty when we are concerned about a student or excited about a student, and we come together to support that student with whatever that student is coping with at the moment. And I've seen that here, and I've not experienced that anywhere else.
Thank you, Miss Liz.
That was a lot for one word, but
it's okay. And I think the mini head shakes will go on in this, but your student is not a number at our school. We get to know them by their name. You know, we get to know their likes, and we certainly want to build that bond with them and create that relationship with them. When that starts, then the learning can really begin from both sides of the table. And so I think that's something that's certainly special. I think some parents might have gotten intimidated in our hybrid launch because literally every teacher and administrator was out front welcoming all of the families and kids, because we were just really excited to have our students back on campus. So, you know I was dodging cars while others were screening students in, but it was really wonderful, and the smiles were certainly behind the masks this fall. So another question that came through in terms of asking about if there is a debate team, and so through research we've had a speech team in past, and we are ready certainly to start one with interest, and I will say that we are a school that is driven through student interest as it relates to clubs, particularly. You know, if we have a group of students interested in starting a club, you know, most of the time it's needing a faculty sponsor, making sure that it is within our core values and is of good value. But we are all willing and able to help, you know, kind of jumpstart any club. A perfect example would be our Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which is not a new club to Concordia Preparatory School. It was relaunched this year with a group of 6 students who came together and wanted to have our FCA be live and well at CPS. So that's been a wonderful addition. And again, a number of opportunities that kids can really take ownership in and be passionate about to be involved in at Concordia.
Mr. Berger, could I actually share a few thoughts on that?
Would love it.
So I know we don't have an official debate team, which is sad. We used to have one, and hopefully, like you said, we could get one started in the future. But I've noticed over the past 3 years is that our students are very comfortable on campus, and they're okay with sharing their thoughts and their opinions. So even though there's no club or there's no class for it, some of these students start debates spontaneously. And as a teacher, it's fun to hear them picking out arguments or picking apart the other person's arguments and saying, wait a second, you said this, but. So it's, even though it's not an actual club, many of our students already have those skills and they bring them to the table either in class or in their spare time. And that's pretty cool.
I think there's a pretty lively one tomorrow going on in Miss Heckle's class in the debate over Elvis Presley versus Michael Jackson, which I think will be a great, some great dialogue going on there. So thank you, Miss Heckle.
Mr. Berger, can I throw one more thing in there?
Would love it. Yeah, absolutely.
So for the families who are asking about the debate team, in the past, again, we've coached the speech team, and so we compete in the BCFL and the NFL, which is hilarious when you think about the NFL stands for the National Forensics League, and the BCFL is the Baltimore Catholic Forensics League. So we compete in both of those. And what that is, it takes us around local competitions on Saturdays within Baltimore. And then we also travel outstate into Pennsylvania and nearby Virginia areas. In the debate world, that would also take us to some colleges that host high school debate tournaments. And so what we've done is we have the individual events, the acting events, as well as the speech events, and then debate is a whole nother world of policy debate or team debate. And so that is awesome. If anybody wants to reach out for more information, I'd be happy to try to answer some questions with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Question came through, what do you look for in students? So that's a great question. And, there's a variety of things that we look at as we review a student's application file. Certainly the application itself is one of the important things to submit, but outside of that, what we're looking at is specific to your son or daughter's character. And we evaluate that through admissions interview, as well as through referrals that we receive from your child's teachers. I also will make connections and calls at respective schools as well, and speak to guidance counselors, principals, and even the teacher that made the recommendation itself. So certainly do evaluate character, grades, and this is in no particular order, but grades are obviously of importance and of value to us as well. Making sure that there is a regimen and sort of an investment, and that academics are priority for your child. So looking at grades, and then certainly as we talked, as I said before, the interview. I think it's really important that we actually have a time to sit down and talk to not only the candidate, but also to the family, and get to know them as a whole. So, there's a variety of things, and at the end I will go through the specific requirements, but I think the other component, we're really looking for students that want to challenge themselves, that want to push themselves in the classroom, want to expose themselves to new things, that are good with asking for help, that are looking to grow in self-advocacy skills and in time management and overall organizational skills. So we want students that are hungry to learn, that are friendly, that are kind, compassionate, but also have a drive and a sense of competition and intensity, I guess I could say, for a word, in terms of, going after what they want. And so those are just some sort of examples of things that I specifically look for. And as I talk to other staff members and administrators, some of the things that we lean on for our students. Since learning is virtual, is it required to have this year's teacher's recommendations? So that's a wonderful question. And what you're referring to, and let me just skip a slide or two over so those folks know, I will come back to that. So as it relates to the requirements of an applicant's file, certainly the application is a requirement, and then the student and parent interview that we hold those virtually now. The transcript, so we are looking for your child's current grades. So mostly if you're applying for 9th grade, we would be looking for your Q1 8th grade report card, along with your 7th and 6th grade report cards. So again, if you're applying for 6th grade, we would be looking for your Q1 5th grade report card, and then your 4th and 3rd grade final report cards. And then finally, the common referrals, again, one from the English teacher and one from a math or science teacher. There is a form that should be filled out. We have created an editable form as well to make it a little easier during these remote times. So with regards to that long-winded answer, teacher recommendations, I do know that many of the students that are applying have not even been in a school physically this year. And it's been very hard for potentially them to build rapport or connections with their teacher. And knowing that last year, they did have an opportunity to be in the building and have connections with their teachers. So from what I say is if we want the best fair judgment of character and representation of your child at school. And so if that means that you go a year back with a respective teacher, that is certainly okay. We do understand that, and we will accept that. So, do understand that some students have not been at school and you've been learning virtually. And so we do want to be mindful. I also do want to make aware that we do understand that there was a attack on specifics to Baltimore County and their records. And so we are working closely with schools, guidance counselors, and registrars as they navigate that. But certainly keep us informed and up to date as it relates to obtaining those. But we are being very open-minded and understanding as it relates to that situation. So, do understand and are aware. That is it. If there are any other questions, please certainly submit those. I want to go back to just our timeline because our application deadline is quickly approaching, Friday, December 18th. We do have a little bit larger of a window with our records request and common referrals due on January 8th. We will have some opportunities if you do not schedule your interview prior to the 18th. You will have an opportunity to facilitate those in January, and we will have those dates available. There are a few on the screen. And then acceptance letters will go out Wednesday, February 17th. With all plans and hopes to have a welcoming night for all our new families in March, with a registration enrollment deadline of Friday, March the 5th. So that's kind of our scope in terms of the timeline. When I created this back in May and June, didn't realize how fast December would come. And so it's been a really great admission season so far. And for many of you, I've had the pleasure and privilege to meet and get to know a little bit further. And so I hope tonight we granted you the opportunity to learn and understand more about Concordia Prep and how we can best serve your child and you guys be a part of our family. So, of course, as I say that, yeah, I get a couple questions. So do you offer transportation? 100%. We do have two routes, one coming out of the Catonsville area and another from the Harford County realm. Two different stops at both those locations. They would leave 6:45 at both respective locations, one in Catonsville and one in Harford County. Harford Mall to Kingsville, St. Paul's Lutheran Kingsville, and then to Concordia Prep. And then in Catonsville, Security Mall to Liberty Road, and then to Concordia Prep. Getting to campus roughly around 7:30 a.m. And then after school departs 30 minutes after school ends, which means it would leave at 3:30, giving the students enough time to do what they need to do after school, see some teachers if they do need to, and then make the bus. So hopefully that helps answer the travel. I will also say we do have a wonderful close-knit family of family members, and many of them look to carpool, whether it's through athletics or the fine arts, with staying late for practices and play practice and so forth. So there are a lot of families that do get involved in that. We have the capacity with a carpool list as well as to drop a pin with all of our student body to see where our families are. And so we can make direct connections if transportation is, say, not offered from our bus in your area to help facilitate that. So, yeah, that's it. I do want to thank everyone for being here this evening. Certainly very happy to share all of the information we did. My information is on the screen. My assistant, Ms. Stefanelli, is also on the screen. And the easiest email to get a hold of us is admissions@concordiaprepschool.org. You could certainly call the school. We're there every day, 7:30 until 4. So we do love to hear voices and talk to folks. So don't hesitate to pick up the phone. You're not bothering us at all. and we're happy to answer any of your questions or walk you through any things that you may have. So with that all said, what a wonderful evening. Thank you all so much. I would love to have our wonderful and talented middle school basketball coach / dean of students and principal close us in prayer. Mr. Miller.
Thank you. You started a wonderful basketball coach, and I thought no way that was me, but let us pray. Dear, we thank you for your night, Lord, and we thank you for this opportunity to gather, Lord, to hear more about your mission here at Concordia Prep School. Lord, we ask that you be with all these families in attendance tonight, Lord, as they are looking for a new place for school, Lord, as they're going to look at all the variety of options. Lord, we just ask that you be with them, Lord, continue to guide them. Lord, if it is your will, that they would join us, Lord, and make that very apparent to them. Lord, continue to be with our school. Our mission, Lord, as we continue to reach out in love, to continue to bring people closer to you. Lord, we ask you to continue to be with all those people involved in the front lines of this current pandemic. Lord, we ask that you continue to sustain them, keep them healthy, keep them safe, Lord, so they may continue to do what they can to support and to keep us safe, Lord. And we ask that as we depart tonight, Lord, you continue to keep our eyes fixed on you, Lord, so that we may continue to do your service above all things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Miller. And thank you again to all our Concordia Prep staff and teachers here tonight. You guys are wonderful. Thank you all for your commitment and support. And most importantly, thank you to all of our families for being here and spending your evening with us. We're hopeful that you learned a lot about us tonight. And of course, if you want to learn more, give us a holler and we would love to talk further. So with all that out of the way, have a great night, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.